morning ride, and of course, is reaching you from the stable of Delta Television, the People's Pride. Okay, coming up on the spot now and joining us in the conversation, we have with us the Chairman, Board of Directors, Delta State Tourism Board, Mrs. Fidelia M. Salami. Welcome, madam.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the studio, ma'am.
Thank you.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, she looks amazing.
You look like a tourist.
She looks, she reminds me of T.Y. Bello that says the land is green.
Yeah.
Because she's actually donning the attire green.
Thank you so much.
And if
Love the compliments.
if you ask me the color for tourism, I'll
Green,
rather
right?
say green.
Got it.
Am I right?
We got it.
I got it.
Wow.
I got it. So quickly, I want to welcome you to our studio this morning.
Thank you.
I've known you for quite a while, and you, by my own rating, you are tourism personified. Everything about tourism is you, ambassador of
Thank
tourism. That is my own rating. So taking us down memory lane now, tourism industry in Nigeria is as old as the country itself. Way back from our amalgamation, well over 100 years ago. So can you just bring us up to speed on this conversation quickly? Your thought process on tourism in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. I like to say first that tourism is life. Talking about the amalgamation, I don't actually think it started from the amalgamation.
Okay.
Tourism itself is life. You're coming into this life is tourism. You're walking is tourism. You're eating is tourism. You're wearing a dress is tourism. Everything about you is tourism, right from your birth. That's all I can say. Tourism is life and places. Everything about you is tourism. You're sitting down there is tourism. The chair you're sitting down on, that chair was made by a carpenter. That's tourism. Craft, creativity. So everything is tourism. Even the clothes you're wearing is tourism, made by a tailor, a fashion designer, creativity. So everything, the food you eat, spice up, tourism, everything about you is tourism. So tourism is life.
Wow. So talking about tourism being life, according to the World Bank in 2017, tourism in Nigeria generated approximately 6% of the annual internally generated revenue in Nigeria. That's quite some time, 2017 to now. I mean, by now, maybe we've exceeded 6%. Now, tell us about some of the impacts that tourism has brought to Nigeria and even in Delta State.
Thank you so much. I'd like to start from the 2017. As of 2020, despite the pandemic, despite the precarious challenges we had in the sector 2020, I would like to let you know that tourism exceeded 20%
Wow.
of the gross revenue. So it's not just the 6% you're talking about now.
In 2017.
In 2017. 2020 was still good enough. Beginning of 2020.
And it's still counting.
It's still counting. I'd like to tell you something. This sector is one sector that generates much revenue if you're able to tap into it. If you're able to key into it, I've discovered that right from time I've always known that tourism can take a generation to a next generation, and then you're able to feed that next generation. So where we are now is a situation where, like I keep telling people, forget about the government now as an individual. I'm a stakeholder in the sector. Nationally, I'm a stakeholder. To the glory of God, I'm also the chairman on board, the board of directors here at Delta State Tourism Board. And I tell people something, it's marvelous to be in this sector because you keep growing and growing each and every day. Sorry, can I get your second question again?
Okay, I asked about the impact.
The impact, tremendous. Oh, thank God for my minister, Lai Mohammed. Since he came on board, it's been glorious, I must say. The impact of tourism in the sector at the moment is something you can't even, it's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing. Tourism in Nigeria now has gone beyond Nigeria, has gone to the international world, and people are asking, how did you make it? Initially, it was growing at a snail speed. Right. But as I speak with you now, it's amazing. It's awesome. You can imagine, even with this effect of the pandemic, we still have people coming in from outside the country to know how it's being done.
Even with the restrictions and everything.
Despite the restrictions. I still have people coming in. Okay, yeah, they go on, what is it called? They go behind the scene for a while. They say you have to
be quarantined.
Yes, the quarantine and all that stuff. I still have somebody that just got out of quarantine coming to visit Nigeria. She's in Lagos. She'll come to Delta State. Wow. This month of August is going to be awesome in Delta State. The people coming in from Germany to Delta State. Wow. Wanting to see the tourist attractions. They want to go around Delta State and see what we have here. It's enough. I've marketed Delta State to the world. Wow. This month I have people coming in from Germany, despite the impact of the COVID-19. Wow. So I'll tell you something. Tourism is going to be awesome here in Delta State. Thank you so much.
Okay, yes, tourism, like you said from your intro, it's live. And I think I'd like to be on the same page with you. Because I was sharing with Ify earlier this morning that there's a particular divide of the world where we have the privilege to visit many, many years ago. Right. Israel, for example, is a tourist attraction. And they make, in short, they make their wealth. Their IGR is majorly dependent on tourists, people who come in, day out. As this said, they come in and live in. Another said, it's a 365-day round the clock. And you said tourism is life. To a very great extent, we saw the likes of Ambassador Rossaway. I remember, I know you know him so well. He who was the DG of the tourism Nigeria at that point. You know, he did his best, but his best really was not good enough. What impact do you intend to bring to bear as the chairman of the Delta State Tourism Board using the Israeli example?
Okay, thank you so much. Let me go back a little. Ambassador Rinsewe is a boss. He's my boss for life. When he was DG NTDC, I know virtually everything he put on board to make sure the sector moves to the next level. I have all that here in my book, Tourism in Nigeria. To his credit, anyway, I should say. I'd like to say something here now. It wasn't as if his best wasn't good enough. It's just the government we found ourselves in. So take away Ambassador. Today he's also the DG NCAC, culture. He's also into tourism and culture. Take away Ambassador Rinsewe now. I'd like to say, I've come on board in Delta State. There has to be change. Right. That's the only thing I know human beings don't like. Change. It can't be the normal thing that has been done over time. There has to be change. Anybody that detests change, as far as I'm concerned, I'm here to make an impact. If there's anybody that detests change, it's so unfortunate. That's all I can say for now. I've come on board to make sure I'm from Delta State, I'm from Agbo, South Local Government. So if I've done it at the national level, I was NATOP, National Association of Tour Operators, admin secretary. If I've done it at the national level, and then I'm now in my state, and I can't do anything, then I'm sick somewhere. So as far as I'm concerned, I've come to make an impact. The first thing I want to do is all the stakeholders in the sector. I've been trying, as an individual, I've been going around one-on-one, getting to meet them. But what I want to do now is do a stakeholders conference. Even if I have to sponsor with my money, I will do that. I need to know people I want to work with. Right. Do a stakeholders conference, a seminar, let them come on board. I will sponsor, let it even be in a hotel. I'm glad to say I will sponsor. I will sponsor them. Then after that, we'll collate all their numbers. And then we'll have a platform. Peradventure they have any challenges. I don't believe in a situation where you wait for a child to earn and then you flog. No. I want to romance them. Come, what is the problem? How are you doing? Another thing I would like to tell you is they pay taxes. If nothing is moving for them, they can't pay any tax. So we need to be able to make sure that they are on ground, they are on board. Things are working for them to be able to pay the tax they need to pay to the government. So what I want to do first is romance these people. As an individual, I've gone one-on-one, trying to see one or two of them.
Right.
But now there has to be a stakeholders meeting. We need to meet and then we brainstorm on what next
to do. Right.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
so still talking about that, tourism in Delta State, I want us to narrow it down. For someone watching and wondering, when you talk about tourism or you need a tourist, do we have tourist attractions in Delta State? That's not my question. That's to someone wondering. So I want you to highlight some of the places or the tourist attractions that we have in Delta State, if you can.
So thank you so much. I remember the board's meeting I had a few months ago, and I was asking, what are the tourist attractions under the government enclave? And I was told the Lander Brothers Anchorage, now it has been taken away from the government. Somebody else is managing now. I also asked, and they said Ethiopia River Source at Umuaja. What else? They said Efron, there's a leisure park in Efron. And I asked, is that all? For now, those are the only ones that are under the government. And I said to myself, fine, I'm bringing people, international tourists, to come and see what we have in Delta State. What happens to the private tourist attractions that are driven, the tourist attractions that are driven by private individuals?
Right.
So what do we do? I think what we need to now do, I've even taken it upon myself, one-on-one. I went to Cocoa Museum, and I'm like, wow, the place is dilapidated. And that's one of the places I want to bring international tourists to. And I said to myself, what do? We need to fix, renovate this place. It's not all about government now. Bring in, I saw, is it Total adverts at that Cocoa Junction to the museum? I saw Total advert. I said, leave it. And I'm wondering, if you have all these adverts here, if you have these people on board here, why is this place, Cocoa Museum, dilapidated? So I'm taking that up at the grapevine. I've spoken to the GM, the GM of Levant. I'm still trying to get who is in charge in Total to let them know that you just can't come here and you're placing your advertising Total.
Your brand.
You're advertising Levant. And you're not doing anything in the community. It's wrong. That aside, Mount Nedwoko is one beautiful place. I keep saying it time without numbers. I had my tourism TV show, Stars, School Tourism Ambassadors Reality Search at Mount Nedwoko. Credit to the Prince. He gave me that audience and I used this place. Mount Nedwoko is an excellent tourist attraction. It's a leisure land. You just go in there. They have a zoo. They have, the place is wow. You got it.
Anyone can access it?
Yes. It's that Idomichi Igboko and Nature North. I have been to, what is it called now? Ethiopia River Source. And I'm wondering, what we have there is as good as, what is it called? Lokoja. River Benue and River Niger, where they met. And I'm like, this place can be something else. So what we have here, Ethiopia River Source, it's so unfortunate that we haven't tapped into that. It's so unfortunate. We need to do something. I tell people it's not all about coming and talking. It's action. I'm here for action. I've taken it, I know how much of my money I've spent going to some of these places. I've taken it upon myself. I said something someday, I said, look, and the only thing you have in Asaba is a ShopRite. Why? I don't understand. In my place, Agbo.
We have Fantega.
Jesus Christ. There's so much there. Even in Ozanogogo, the limestone, the chalk they have there, wow, it's massive. That should be another tourist attraction. Yeah, so go to Abraka. See Abraka Tough. Excellent. Go to Ibru. In my own little way, I've been able to discuss with Mr. Ibru. I've discussed with Cecilia Ibru, then way back in Lagos. And I'm like, this Ibru Ecumenical Center, it should not just be in Agbaro like that. It's a site where people should be coming to. You need to see what is in there. Unfortunately, in Delta State, I should say it's still growing at a snail speed.
In Asaba.
In Asaba, especially, apart from the ShopRite, there's nothing.
ShopRite is not a tourist.
No, let's assume it's a tourist. I remember when the It was interesting to see when the Muslims had their festival, and I saw all of them in their regular shop. I just went there to see what was happening, and I'm like, wow, if Muslims can come in here like this, so why won't we have something befitting a tourist site in Asaba where anybody at any time can go?
Exactly.
Okay. Also quickly, who do we now hold responsible for all of this lacuna? Because by my understanding, I expect that yes, the government has a role to play, but the private sector also has a role to play. You've highlighted a couple of sites. I also know we have the Olona Ranch.
Yeah,
Right.
Olona Ranch, let me come in here.
Yeah.
Olona Ranch is dilapidated at the moment. I know the owner of
That's my
Olona Ranch.
hometown.
I've been there too.
Fortunately.
That's your hometown.
Exactly.
I know the owner of Olona Ranch. That place is dilapidated, and I've spoken to him. And I'm like, what is happening? Well, the truth of the matter now is, for now, he doesn't have the money, the finance to drive that place. So the best thing to do is just to sell it off.
Sublet.
Don't you think at this point, because the tourism industry is a money spinner. Like I did say, I made reference to Israel, right? It's not as if Israel, they don't even have water, it's rocks everywhere. And the question my wife asked me yesterday was that, okay, you said Israel, their water is salty, and River Jordan comes from there. River Jordan is a tourist site, and they make their money. We also have the Araya Bible site. I don't know if you've come across that.
I was at Araya Bible site a few years ago.
Yeah.
That was when I launched my book at Grand Hotel, and I took my time. I told somebody there, Charles and Edith, I said, please, can you take me around some of these tourist attractions? And when I got there, it was like a forest. Exactly.
Now that's the maintenance culture that we lack.
And that's why I said, you see, these are monumentals, right? Where government that has a Ministry of Culture
And tourism.
tourism should place emphasis. Then all the budgets, where does it go to? Is this just on you know, at the surface level?
Talking about budget, I think I should say here now that I've been on board for a couple of months, although I've seen the budget. I like to say something that even at this point in time, I think we need to romance the government to please do something for us as a sector.
But do you really need to romance government to do what they're supposed to do?
Because why we need to romance government to kick it off is because tourism is private sector driven. Any day, anytime. I say it anywhere. Tourism is private sector driven. There are private establishments out there that need to give back to the society, and they're looking for what channel to position it. And we're just there sitting back and waiting for government. Romance government to kick it off. Once government kicks it off, then you can bring in the private sector. That's what it is now. Tourism is private sector driven. It's not government. All the government can do for you is give you the basics.
Establishing the ministry?
Yes.
And that's been on for a while now.
Which is sad.
Yeah,
I
the
must
ministry
say.
has been on for a while now. I just recently, the artist village, it's been worked out because of the Nollywood. It's okay. Nollywood is also part of the tourism.
Please let me come in here. That's kudos to the government.
Yes.
Okay.
As a soft pedal for the sector. And Delta State is going to blow it big. That's a soft pedal. That's the only one so far in Nigeria. Wow. Kudos to
Yes.
His Excellency.
But is that really enough, considering Delta State being a conglomerate?
It's not enough, but it's a starting point, and we give glory to God. We give Him the credit for that. You need to start from somewhere. I keep saying it, that all the government can do is give us a soft pedal. Once they are done with that, you as a you on board. The private sector. I said something the other day. I don't want to mention the name of the organization here. And I'm romancing them. Please come and do this for me. I remember when we had a board meeting and I said, I want to bring this person to do this, I want to bring this person. And they're like, there are so many protocols involved. Wow, protocols involved. I'm bringing somebody to come and invest into the state. And we have to wait for protocols. Why? Well, now I've taken it upon myself. All those protocols, if there are protocols you need to romance to make sure something is done, yes, why not? Why
I like the fact that you use this word romance.
That's
because-
what I do to get what I want. It's not anything about women's endowment. I'm a very intellectual person. So if you have something on board, you have something to show to people, why not?
So you need to.
If they see your success story, they know your success, you will want to key into it. But when you don't have anything to show, I have, this book was launched here, 2015, Grand Hotel. Your man, Sam, was the MC at this occasion. His Excellency, Ifemeka Onyoku, former Commonwealth Secretary General, he was the chairman. He wrote the publication praise to this book. And I was like, wow. This one you see here now, pre-publication praise was written by the former, late Princeton Momo, 86 to 1990. He was Minister of Information and Culture. So once you know your onions, you know where you're coming from, you must have a goal. You must be focused to know where you're heading to. That's where I am in Delta State now. It's not all about we have this, we have that. It's
making it work.
Yeah.
Okay. One aspect of tourism that I know also pulls out the wheels when it comes to finances has to do with carnivals. For example, we know we have the Calabar Carnival, a yearly activity. There was a young guy who tried to do the float sometime during Richard Buffett Damage's tenure. On Kelvin, one young boy there, tried to pull a float across
Delta
Asaba.
State, okay.
That met a big war, and we didn't hear about that any longer. Do you intend, in your tenure, to bring up something like the Delta Carnival? Considering the location, it could be Warri, you have the Brodrigata, it could be Asaba, it could
They
be
have a
Albo.
ShopRite.
But do you intend to pull all of this together, bearing in fact that you need to also have major blue chips that will sponsor
That event.
why government takes a major part of it?
Thank you so much. When I came on board and I said to myself, Carnival, kept on ringing in my head. That was one of the reasons why I went to Cocoa.
Wow.
And to the glory of God, His Excellency now, we now have a floating market, just like what we have in Gambia, in Cotonou, Republic of Benin. When I saw that, I'm like, wow, this is another starting point. Credit to His Excellency. Let me tell you something. I thought about a carnival. When I thought about, I have a lot of contents in Delta State I want to do in Delta, even before the appointment. So it was sort of an individual thing, but now it's coming on board as a state thing. Carnival, wow, you will see what Carnival will be like in Delta State. If I have all the support, if I have people to work with me as a team, you will see the Carnival that will be, what is going to originate from Cocoa. Because the water there is wow. I also thought about another thing here in the anchorage. I looked at that water going over to the River Niger, and I'm like, this would have been, maybe we should kick off from here a mini carnival. As I speak with you now, that place is not under my jurisdiction. So I need to let go of that and then be focused on the Cocoa waters. It will be a magnificent carnival in Delta State. If I have the team, if I have the support at my back.
Okay, before I let you go, you've written a book, Senior Secondary Tourism. And I'm aware you're the convener and ambassador of the Reality Search program. Can you just can you just tell us more on this book, who the target audience are? And I can see it has NERDC curriculum. Are you trying to say that tourism should be brought into the curriculum of our educational syllabus?
Let me start by saying tourism is already
Yes, I think that's right.
good.
Fact,
2014,
yes.
wire curriculum, 2014. So 2013 was when I launched this book, and I was part of the team that talked about. This book was recommended by Nigerian Conservation Foundation in Lagos for university students, polytechnics university students. 2013. And then after my book launch here, 2014, I started clamoring. Secondary schools, what do we do? Now universities are part-time taking up the subject, even the National Open University of Lagos. And I said to myself, what about secondary schools? So one or two people I met along the line, DG Naho to Asadai, and I told him, we will look into it. But as God will have it, eventually, tourism became WAEC curriculum, subjects, trade subjects.
Wow.
And it kicked off 2014 to the glory of God. I must say I was part of the people that clamored for tourism to be in secondary school. And after that, I said to myself, okay, fine. We now offer tourism in secondary schools, in WAEC. What next? What should I do next? I started making my research. I went to NEDEC. I said, I want to be part of this, because I also clamored for this. So they gave me the curriculum, and I just started the research work. It wasn't easy. At the initial stage, I had 3-in-1 book. 3-in-1. And I took the book to Macmillan for publication. He looked at the book and he told me, no, this book, we can't fly with it. Reason, because it's just one book. If we publish one book, we won't make much profit. We won't make any profit. That was exactly what they said. And I said to myself, they said to me, if you can, at least split them into 3, you can come back to us. I said, fine, that's good. When I go back home, I looked at the book. I think the copy of the book was just of this size, then 3-in-1. I looked at the book. I said to myself, no, I abandoned the project. But after a while, I now revisited. I said to myself, no, I started the project, and I abandoned that project. Apparently, along that line, I traveled to the US, stayed for years. So when I came back, I said, no, pick it up. So I picked it up. That was when I started putting everything, all my experiences in the sector, within and outside the country. I had to put everything in it, and it flew. Today, that's why we have tourism, senior secondary school tourism 1, 2, and 3. So, putting out this book is not for myself, but for the next generation. I keep saying it's not all about myself. The name Fidelia Salami one day, sorry, the man behind the name one day will no longer be in this world. But these are the things I have to show. How do I impact on the next generation? I've taken this book to people and they're like, wow, how did you do this? I said, it's God. So I want the next generation to grab copies of this book, and you never can tell. It's a trade subject. Somebody from nowhere someday can just come up and become World Tourism Organization's DG, Director General, from Nigeria. You see what's happening to Koji Wale today? It's happening for somebody. So that's what I expect to happen here. I have a daughter that did a WAEC. She reads computer science in Uniben. But she did the ROTV as a trade subject. Unfortunately, she didn't do tourism because they don't offer it then in FGGC Shagamu. And I said to myself, each and every one that does, I think now I need to plead with the government. The tourism, I've done some research here in Delta City, and I discovered just a few schools offer tourism. We should go beyond that. His Excellency, I tried so much. I see all those clips that, what is it called? What is it called? Skill acquisition videos. I've seen a lot of them, but I've never seen anything about tourism. So at this point in time, I want to plead with His Excellency, Governor Okowa, to please put this on board when he's doing his skill acquisition program for youths, especially. Please. So moving forward, secondary school students are going to find this book. It's not just the text per se. It's a compendium of photographs to help you understand what tourism is all about.
Wow.
So I'm trusting God Almighty that with these books on board, oh Father, the sky will be the limit for senior secondary school students offering tourism in Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Okay, I would like to thank you so much. Time really is not our friend because you actually an interviewer tonight.
Yes.
Because you tourism personified, an ambassador of tourism. You talked so much on this conversation. I'd like to thank you so much, and we hope that once there's a symbiotic relationship between yourself and our management, you would always be in regular on our program, so that could be part of our own way of giving back,
of course,
to the society. So we'd like to thank you so much, Fidelia M. Salami, Chairman, Board of Directors, Delta State Tourism Board.
Thank you so much. I did this some time ago. Was it 2013 or 2014? I don't know. I presented a copy of this book, Tourism in Nigeria, to the GM there, and I like to present this one also to DBS.
Wow.
Well, I might not. I've just, you know.
Okay, that's it. Just the answer. It's okay. Thank you.
I think that will be a formal presentation.
Okay, thank you.
That will give you a more wider spectrum
Thank you so
of
much.
championing
I
the
appreciate it.
tourism agenda.
I appreciate
Right.
I would like to thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
All right, so this is where we'll drop this particular spot this morning. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at